When I was 8, I could not wait to be 13. When I was 13, I couldn't wait to be 18. And now, as a 17-year-old juggling school, sports, and life, I catch myself wondering when I'll ever stop wanting to grow up. Sound familiar? Hello, my name is Ahana Raman. I'm a student athlete, trekker, and a person who spent far too much time wishing for the future rather than living in the moment. So today, I want to take all of you guys on that journey to that subconscious urge to grow up and how the present is often the gift that we overlook. Now, wanting to grow up does not just come from wishing that birthdays go by faster or wanting to grow taller. It's rooted in something much, much deeper. I'm sure as kids, we've all been told something along the lines of, the life is better when you're an adult, or you'll understand this when you grow up. Society in general has conditioned us to see adulthood as this magical land where you have all the answers you need and everything is just perfect. Media, movies, both of them paint a picture where adulthood is nothing short than a fairy tale. But in reality, when we reach that stage, we find it a bit underwhelming. Of course, it's not going to be like a fairy tale. Adulthood, though it comes with an amazing opportunity for freedom and new adventures, it comes with its own share of stresses, responsibilities, and ironically, the nostalgia of those days that we could not wait to leave behind. So in fact, the American Psychological Association says that over 75% of adults in the US report of feeling stressed every day, and 40% adults say that they're always overwhelmed by their responsibilities. So now as I see it, adulthood is a jigsaw puzzle, and the pieces don't always fit perfectly, and that's okay. Living for tomorrow can steal something as precious as the present. When you're 8 and you're wanting to be 13, you miss out on the joys of being 8. You're building forts, making new games, and just marveling at the world. That is the beauty of being 8. When you're 13 and all you can think of is being 18, you miss out on the joys of those late night conversations with your friends, the part to discover who you really are, and the small other things like the unique freedom of youth. The problem is that all of us are just so fixated on dreaming about the future that we forget that there's something called the present, called living in the moment. Let me tell you a story. Last year, I was trekking in the eastern Himalayas through the beautiful trail of the Kanchenjungas. It was the most complex and the most tiring experience of my life. I stared at the peak from afar, 15,100 feet. It's not a joke. So I climbed one day, the other day, and I thought that when I reached the top, that's when I would feel true accomplishment. But then something happened. I reached the top, 15,100 feet. My extremities are frozen. It's so cold. But I realized something weird and something unique. The view was breathtaking, yes, no doubt. But I realized that my most memorable moments was not on the peak, but it was the journey to the peak. It was the laughter with my fellow trekkers. It was the cold wind slapping me on my face. It was the rhythm of my breath that I took with every step in the ascent. And it was the quiet moments of reflection that I had along the trail. Now, this gave me a very practical explanation of something that we've been told all the time when we're kids, that the journey is more important than the destination. It's a profound learning, and it's a learning for life. So now, how do we start living in the present? How do we start taking that initiative to live more in the moment and not be so fixated of the future? Let's try to look at it from a wider perspective of a trekker, shall we? So the first thing is, take gratitude as your base camp. A base camp is a place where a trek starts and ends. It is the foundation of your journey. When you take gratitude as your mental base camp, what you're doing is you're creating a space where you can regroup and where you can celebrate the small steps that you've taken. Take a moment to appreciate all the steps that you've already taken towards your goal, whether it be doing a tough climb or whether it be just watching a good movie after a very, very important task done. That's still a step in the right direction. The second thing is take micro moments as your trail markers. Now in a trek, what does a trail marker do? A trail marker guides you, and reminds you that you're on the right path of the trek. Just like that, in life, your micro moments, like finishing an important task on time, when your playlist shuffles to exactly those songs that you feel like listening to at the moment, or when you catch the warmth of a sunset on the perfect time. These are your trail markers. These micro moments help you stay grounded and remind you that everything you're doing is an adventure, a new thing. And the last thing that is the summit mirage, escaping the summit mirage. Now, what is the summit mirage? The summit mirage can very well explain my experience in the Kanchenjungas. It is when trekkers experience that the joy is only at the peak and that the journey is irrelevant. But no, to escape the summit mirage, you need to remind yourself that every moment in the present is an adventure, not just the destination. So now that we've seen that growing up is a process and it's not just a destination, and that being fixated on the future is good, but to let it overwhelm the beauties of the present, not at all. But let's be honest, it's easier said than done. I think we're all guilty of stepping into the someday mindset, and that's completely okay. But to remind ourselves to come back, that's the important thing. I know that as I stand here right now, even I need to remind myself on a daily basis that you don't need to be fixated on the future and that I should practice what I preach. But that's the beauty of it. None of us have it all figured out, and that's completely fine. So here's a challenge from me to all of you guys. The next time you find yourself or someone you love fixated on the future, pause. Take a step back. Appreciate the things around you. Celebrate the small wins. Share a kind word. Because one day you'll realize that these moments are the moments you would want to come back to. So let's cherish them while they're still here. After all, it's called the present for a reason. Thank you.